All right, so we have been learning a lot lately about different strategies that good readers use to understand what they're reading. Today we are going to be finding the important idea in our story. And then we're going to be using our writing response journals, and we're going to write our important ideas down. So make sure everybody has got their reading manners or crisscross applesauce ready to listen. And during the story we're going to stop one or two times to do our pair share. So make sure you're sitting next to somebody that you can share with, okay? Today we are going to be reading a story, A Weekend with Wendell. And this might look familiar to some of you guys. We read this earlier on. Remember when we read this? The first time we read this because we were working on making predictions. You guys remember we predicted how Sophie was feeling and what was going to happen in our story? Well, today we are going to be working on the important idea in our story. And sometimes good readers read a story more than once so that they can understand it and enjoy it better. So, today we're going to be looking for the important thing in this story. And I want you guys to make sure you're watching what I'm doing while I'm reading so that you guys can take what I'm doing and use some of those strategies while you guys read today. Alright? So, A Weekend with Wendell by Kevin Hankins. On Friday afternoon, Wendell's parents dropped him off at Sophie's house. Wendell's going to spend the weekend with us, said Sophie's mother, while his parents visit relatives out of town. Oh boy, said Wendell. Sophie didn't say anything. After snacks, Sophie helped Wendell carry his sleeping bag and suitcase upstairs. Well, what are we going to do now? Asked Wendell. Do you have any toys? Sophie pointed to her toy chest. Is that all you got? Said Wendell. I've got 1,000,000 times more than that. What else is there to do around here? We could play house, said Sophie. Only if I can make the rules, said Wendell. So they played house, and Wendell made the rules. He was the father, the mother, and the 5 children. Sophie was the dog. Then they played hospital. Wendell was the doctor, the nurse, and the patient. Sophie was the desk clerk. When they pretended they worked in a bakery, Wendell was the baker, and Sophie was a sweet roll. Isn't this fun? Said Wendell. Sophie didn't say anything. At dinner, Wendell said that he was allergic to anything green, so he didn't have to eat his vegetables. And then when Sophie wasn't looking, he scooped the whipped cream off of her dessert. When is Wendell leaving? Whispered Sophie. Soon, said her mother. Soon, said her father. After Sophie's parents tucked Sophie in her bed, zipped Wendell in his sleeping bag, kissed them both, and turned off the light, Wendell grabbed his flashlight and shone it right in Sophie's eyes. See you tomorrow, he said, smiling. Sophie shut her eyes. I can't wait for Wendell to go home, she said to herself. Now, I put a sticky note on this page when I first read it because I thought that this was an important idea here. Sophie doesn't seem very excited that Wendell is over, does she? He seems kind of bossy and kind of trying to make all the rules, and Sophie doesn't seem to really enjoy that very much. So I put this sticky note here because I thought that was kind of an important idea. Sophie's kind of ready for Wendell to go home. And it seems like she doesn't really want to be very good friends with Wendell. So we can keep reading and see if there's any other important ideas in our story. I want you guys to turn and talk to your elbow partners. What did you guys notice me doing on that page with my sticky note? Cesaria. Alright, when you guys are ready, you can turn back around. Turn back around when you're guys ready in the back? All right, I heard Gavin and Emma talking about some good things. Gavin, what were you guys talking about? What did you notice me doing?
Dad, I think you're going to have a prediction that about something. Like, I think you might have a prediction that she's still like
Yeah, it was kind of like a prediction, but I also heard you guys talking that I use my sticky note to help me remember this important idea in the story. Zaria? All right, let's keep reading and see if there's any other important ideas. Make sure we still have our meeting manners. Just put it in your hand. On Saturday morning when Sophie woke up, there was a lumpy blue monster jumping up and down on her bed. It was Wendell. She felt something pinch her leg at breakfast. It was Wendell. She heard scary noises coming from the broom closet. It was Wendell. Wendell used Sophie's crayons and left them on the porch so they melted. At lunch, Wendell finger painted with his peanut butter and jelly. "Isn't this fun?" said Wendell. Sophie didn't say anything. "When is Wendell leaving?" whispered Sophie. "Soon," said her mother. "Soon," said her father.
They'll come back fine.
At bedtime, when Sophie put her head on her pillow, she heard something crunch. It was a note from Wendell. It said, "See you tomorrow." Sophie shut her eyes. "I can't wait for Wendell to go home," she said to herself. Before Wendell's parents picked him up on Sunday morning, he tried to make a long-distance call. He wrote his name on the bathroom mirror with toothpaste. And he gave Sophie a new hairdo with shaving cream. "Want to go outside and help me wash this off?" asked Sophie. "We could play firefighter." "Oh boy," said Wendell. So they played firefighter and Sophie made the rules. She was the fire chief and Wendell was the burning building. "Isn't this fun?" said Sophie. Wendell didn't say anything.
It's a payback.
"Do I get to be the fire chief?" asked Wendell. "Maybe," said Sophie. All right, I put another sticky note on this page because I started to see that Sophie and Wendell switched roles. Now Sophie started to make the rules and started to be the boss. I think that this could be another important idea in our story. So I put another sticky note here
It's like a payback.
Kind of, yep.
Oh, it's like karma. It's like karma.
All right, let's keep reading.
Called payback.
Soon Wendell and Sophie didn't care who was the fire chief or who was the burning building. "Time to go," said Sophie's mother. "Time to go," said Sophie's father. "Already?" said Wendell. "Already?" said Sophie. "When is Wendell coming back?" asked Sophie. "Never," said her mother.
It's a comeback line.
"Never," said her
It's going
father.
on because it's like she was like, when is she going home? That was when
Yeah.
is she coming back?
That afternoon, when Wendell unpacked his suitcase, he heard something crunch. It was a note from Sophie. It said, "I hope I see you soon." All right, I put another sticky note on this last page because I think there is an even bigger important idea at the end of our story. Can you turn and talk to your elbow partners? What do you think that big idea at the end of our story was?
That they turn into big friends. But like the beginning,
When you guys have your idea, you can turn back around. When you are ready, turn back around. Make sure we still have our meeting manners. And turn back around. All right, Alicia and Summer, I heard some good ideas here. What did you guys think the big important idea was at the end of our story? They made up. Yes, so we had a lot of important ideas in our story. First, we put a sticky note because the first important idea was that Sophie kind of wanted Wendell to go home, right? And then they kind of started to switch roles, but in the end, Sophie and Wendell became friends.
On the back it shows you the note.
Yep, I hope I see you soon. From Sophie. All right, so then we're going to turn over here, and we are going to write our reading response. So our focus today was the important idea in our story. And we said the important idea in our story today was that Wendell and Sophie became friends, right? So, I'm going to write the important thing was Sophie and Wendell became friends. So, the important thing was Sophie and Wendell became friends. Now, I was kind of excited that Sophie and Wendell became friends, so what should I add at the end of my sentence?
Exclamation point.
Exclamation point. Very good. All right. So I'm ready to write. Now, all of your writing, when we do our you guys' writing responses for your stories are going to start the same way. The important thing was. All right? So, the important thing was.
Oh, they should know that word.
You don't even have to say it.
The important thing was
Sophie.
Wendell.
No,
Now I'm
Sophie.
going to look back on my book here. Because I see Wendell right in my title, so I can copy this right here. Wendell and you guys should all know this one too, right? And Sophie. Sophie became friends. Friends. All right, you guys want to read this with me?
The important thing was Wendell and Sophie became friends.
And I have my exclamation point at the end because I was very excited about that. All right, so I found the important idea in our story today, and now in a minute I'm going to let you guys go to get your book boxes. And what you're going to do first is you're going to find a story in your book box to read, and in about, after 10 minutes of reading, I'm going to stop you guys so you guys can get out your writing response journals, and you guys are going to write in your journals. The important thing was, and then whatever that important idea was in your story. Okay? So, if you are wearing blue, you may go to your book box.
I'm wearing navy. I'm wearing blue. I'm wearing blue. Oh, yeah,
This is what goes through here.
Yeah, that
I've got your story. I don't have anything like this.
All right. Yeah, that was. All right, if you are wearing bright yellow.
How are you doing, Mackenzie? Are you finding some important ideas in your story? Yeah. What are some of the important ideas so far?
On this page, they said a little house mouse.
And you're going to continue to read and see if there's any other
Wait, Miss
important
Mackey?
ideas. 1 second, I'll be right there. And do you guys have sticky notes over here? Did I give you guys some sticky notes?
I don't get this.
Here's a sticky note here. We can rip this one in half just so you can mark some of your important ideas so that you remember where they are. Okay? Very good. Okay, so you found a couple of important ideas in your story, right? So what were some of those important ideas?
Well, Ron, I wonder, but how should I say this? Straw or string or how should I say this?
You mean for your writing response? You don't know how you're going to say it? Well, the one that we're working on today is the important thing was. So you could write, the important thing was they made their clothes out of straw. Is that one of the important ideas in your story? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
But working on I wonder why They only had straw.
Oh, that's a good I wonder question, yeah.
Blah, blah,
But today,
blah,
remember what we were working on in my story that we read? We were working on the important thing. So it's good to use those I wonder questions, but let's focus here because in our writing response today, you're going to have to write the important thing was. All right, so what was the important thing that you read about?
The important thing I read about was I don't really have anything.
So why don't you keep reading and see if there was an important idea in your story? Maybe what they made their clothes out of, or what they like to do. Do you?
Sport.
Did you find any important ideas in your story, Lily?
Yes, he munched on he chewed up everything that was candy, and when he did, people would say have vegetables and stuff, but he would be munching on everything that was only candy. So stuff at school he brought candy, and
You put a sticky note here for the important
because he
ideas.
buys more and more candy.
Oh, he kept buying candy?
And even the clerk there says, don't eat that. He'll eat some vegetables and stuff. But then he gets a toothache.
Oh, that's an important idea. He got a toothache from all that candy.
So I was gonna put a poster here.
Oh, okay. So what did the dentist say to him?
He said stop munching.
Stop munching, Mark. Very good. All right, so you're almost done with your reading and you're going to be ready to do your writing response soon?
Could I have one more?
You need one more post-it note? Sure, I can go. All right, at this point we should be almost done with our reading. I want you guys to get your writing response journals out and start your writing. So it's going to start with the important thing was.
Get your writing journal, and we'll do it together. Go get your
The important thing was. And remember, you guys can look right on your yellow sheets to copy. The important thing was to start your sentence. Let's stop there. All right, when you guys are done, I want you to bring your response journals to the carpet and find your carpet spots.
Boys and girls, if your sheet hasn't been dated yet, stay at your spot so I can date it. If
All right, you
you've been
guys.
dated, come on over.
If you guys got yours dated and you are all done, you can bring your response journals to the carpet.
Maybe you're going to be able to have to move a little bit, because I'm going to be in the spot. Maybe you need to tie your head up. You're still working. Do you want me to have everybody?
I think I'll just quit. I think you're done with your
Oh, I forgot. If I raise my hand, I think
All right, Lily, Gavin, you guys come on over.
Ariel, go in there.
Find your spots, find your spots. We need Lily, Destiny, and Oliver to come up here.
Important thing was.
All right, find your carpet spots. All right, Lily, come have a seat.
They.
Have a seat. Ariel, come have a seat. All right, check your meeting manners. Luke, buddy, turn around. All right, I'm going to have you guys put your reading responses down in front of you for now, so we're not playing with them. Everybody set them in front of you. Buddy, put it in front of you. All right, we're gonna have a couple of our friends up here share their important ideas, and then when they're done sharing, you all are gonna have a chance to share during peer share, okay? So, make sure our papers are in front of us for now so we can listen to our friends. Everybody have a seat. Are we ready? Ready to listen? All right, Destiny, you wanna share your important thing in your story? All right, go ahead.
Bringing the sea back home. The important thing was getting the sea back home, so Lily and her grandfather could see it.
Very good, thank you, Destiny. Lily, do you wanna share your important thing?
Munching Mark. That's munching thing was Mark stopped eating all candies.
Very good, thank you, Lily. Oliver?
Henry and March. The important thing was Mark was always
Very good. You guys can go have a seat. Thank you for sharing. All right. Now what we're going to do is turn to the person next to you and you're going to share your important ideas with the person next to you. If you won't share, you may turn back around and show when you're ready. All right, Alex and Buddy, are you guys almost done? All right, turn back around when I know you're ready. All right, very good job today, guys. So we know that good readers find the important idea when they read, and then the writing responses help us to understand and enjoy our story better. You guys did a very good job with it today. I'm going to have my girls go put your reading responses back in your book boxes.
Are you having a breakdown? What's the matter, Henry? He's having a breakdown.
All right, boys, you may go back.